This whole region it's a wildlife space. The tragedy of poaching has affected us from rhino to lion to elephant. And obviously there's a lot of response towards that. There's a lot of anti-poaching and there's a really militant and strong approach to protecting wildlife on the borders.
Seeing those rhinos dead and then the calf just hanging around the mother while the mother is dead, it's so traumatizing. Like, we're doing really bad things on those poor animals.
Kids, they have no idea, they have no idea on how animals are imported, mostly in South Africa.
I've left my children with an absolutely chaotic country, and conservation is a concept that's in all sorts of turmoil. Through apartheid, colonialism, all of that, we've made wildlife a rich white man's thing. We can't kill all the poachers, but they can kill all our rhino.
We're really on this road, and it's massaging me and my back.
Continent of Africa is just somewhere I've always wanted to come. It's just so vibrant. It's full of culture, and it's full of my culture, and it's breathtaking. I think my missions are to hear what the kids have to say. They're what we depend on. They're our future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing about eradicating the issues that we don't need to have. So here we go on this bumpy journey.
Ja, het al gepraat van hulle gaan probeer.
Yeah, you've got the Glock 19s not yet.
You know, when you hit contact with poachers, it's not from here to the tar road or from here to that office, it's the width of this table, 5-6 meters. You know, the bush is thick. I started ProTrack, 27 years ago now. It's predominantly an anti-poaching unit which hates guns but has to use them. Guards, they've been out sitting in trees, walking amongst all the dangerous game, mosquitoes, spending part of his 16-day patrol trying to protect rhino. Some of them don't even tell families, friends where they work. Their biggest fear is to actually catch a poacher. It might be a neighbor. Everybody wants to see a poacher hang.
I grew up in the Timberlati, and that's just one of the most sort of wild conservation areas in South Africa. So I really had a privileged upbringing. And I remember seeing guests coming in from overseas and flying in, children my age, that could pay to see an elephant. And it would change their lives. They were amazed. But growing up in this region and seeing the intense poverty that one drives through to get to these tourism areas means that you have to look beyond that gun to the person that is perhaps shooting. What led them there? What brought them there in their lives? Did they have any other choice but to poach? I started Nourish to bring together poverty and poaching in the Mpumalanga, Limpopo area, and to really address these dual issues and to focus on projects that link conservation back to communities and are mutually beneficial.
From 92 to 2011, we lost 5 rhino in 20 years. 2012, we lost 16. And it increased yearly by about 33%. So it just got worse and worse.
People, when they're backed into a corner and they have to do what they need to do to survive, and it's quick money, you're going to get criminal activity. You're going to get things like poaching.
People will much rather support somebody in camouflage with a big gun who's killing people, who's fighting this Rambo-like war, Hollywood, you know. They'll rather do that without any thought what that gun and that bullet is doing.
That poacher had a family. He's a breadwinner. So if he dies, often he creates a devastation ripple effect in his village.
To shoot and kill a problem, that's the easy way, but it's not solving anything.
How are you? How's you guys are all good? Everyone's fine? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Like you're all good? Yes. Some of you so-so? Yes. Okay, I get it.
So, okay, Dumela Mbangan. So we're gonna talk about poaching. Okay? Yes. Poaching is hunting animals illegally, okay? Yes. Which is, it's not allowed. When we call the people, like when we say poacher, we are talking about the people that goes to the game reserve, like kill Shibejwan. Yes. So, and then why do they kill Shibejwan? Because they want to cut the horns from the rhinos, okay? Or the tusk from the elephant, which is that it's not good. So the animals, they also want to live, right? Animals, mostly in South Africa, they are very, very, very important. They create jobs. Most of our parents, sisters, brothers, they work in the game reserves because of those animals, right?
Conservation education was really core and a really key issue in this area where there's so much poaching. So we started our Green Kids project where we educate about 1,500 children every week on conservation and wildlife issues. So we work with children in schools, school governing bodies, we work with teachers, and we work with learners to plant gardens, to recycle, just really to have green kids.
We believe in education starts from small. While the small children know more about what is happening about rhinos, the poaching and stuff like that, they'll take those to their elderlies, their mothers, and then they'll pass on the information. And I think it's working now.
Africa, my roots, Africa, my pride, oh Africa, my motherland, a place so rich and gifted, our nation filled with diversity of cultures of Banaba Mala Wasipilo, oh Africa, Uma, Ubaba Negan, Bapetin Botle, now where do I run?
In this area there's a huge post-apartheid legacy. There's quite a big divide between white and black, rich and poor, conservation and communities. You drive through certain roads and the difference is as big as the Berlin Wall. This divide is one that many, many children growing up in the village have experienced their whole lives. It's one I experienced my whole life. You know, which side of that fence did you get to grow up on? Did you have access to the Kruger National Park and the beautiful wildlife that is their African heritage? Or were you marginalized outside of these major conservation spaces and really lived a life of poverty?
The systems the poacher grew up under, that his parents grew up under, the way he's been excluded from wilderness areas, from conservation as a concept. I knew in my heart and my mind that if we don't change and include our local communities, we've lost.
What we are doing today, we are doing, we call it a field trip, so where we take the kids to the animal centers like Kinyonga. It's a reptile center where the kids, they get to interact with the snakes, and then they also they learn more about the snakes, and then that snakes are not dangerous.
That thing is so long, but it moves so quickly. But it can live in trees too. Oh, that's bad.
And also we are doing Moholo Holo, which is Moholo Holo is a rehabilitation center where they rehabilitate the animals, and then which is kids, they get to go there and see the animals, and then to go and learn more about them, and also develop the love for them, and also to care for them. For many of the kids, actually almost all of them, it's their first time seeing the animals, interacting with them, because of they don't have cash to pay. You know, they don't have a car, so they cannot, they don't have the opportunity to go in a game reserve. So which is offering them the free trip, we believe that it will change their life.
Today I learned about some snake and crocodile. We learn about the snake that they have venoms, and the one that it don't bite you.
If we can take them on this experience, and they will have an immersion opportunity, and they can see a rhino, or they can connect with that animal on an emotional level. The way I connected growing up in the bush, I felt that we could change the possibility of that child's path. This little boy came up to me and said, you know, if rhino horn is keratin, which is the same as our nails, then why are we killing them? And that for me, that was a moment that made me realize that the field trips are all worth it, you know?
Just got done interviewing everyone about what it is about being a kid in South Africa, their daily schedule, who inspires them, and just taking their portraits to kind of put an image with that story of empowerment. They do so much, they stay so busy. Can you be cool for me? Let's see, what's your definition of cool? Let me see. Show it to me. Show me cool. That sounds like you're exhausted. Okay. I'll get that in.
My name is Sebaho, and these were all the projects that we did here. So we picked up all the papers and put them in a bottle so we can be able to recycle them. And this was an award for eco schools that we won this year. And it's really exciting to be part of all this. Yeah. I just want more kids to accomplish school and finish school, because most kids don't finish school, and some kids don't go to school, so they want a better education also.
The kids here reminded me of the kids that I teach back home. They have a lot in common. They have the same issues they're facing, where, you know, they're choosing whether or not to go to school, and a lot of them quit. And it's not about comparing which is worse here or there, because the fact of the matter is that it doesn't need to be that way.
There we go. Good work, good work. So if you don't know what a snare is, this is a snare, alright? All of these here are snares, okay? All of these have been found by us at ProTrack, alright? These should not be out in the bush. Okay? The guys go and put them in the bush so they can take the animal out. Every time it's pulling, it's fighting. It's fighting. This is going tighter, tighter, tighter. Alright? Eventually, you can't breathe. Okay? You can see all my veins coming out. Alright? There's no blood flow now. Now imagine that around here. For an elephant, for a rhino, for a lion.
To engage with anti-poaching teams one-on-one gives children the understanding of actually what role models there are in conservation. These men are protecting your wildlife. It makes it cool. They get to really meet these guys that, one, perhaps puts the fear of God in them, but more so, this could be someone that I could look up to or perhaps be one day.
Alright. So when the guys come for rhino horn, okay, they use very big weapons, very big rifles, okay. This is the size of the bullet, okay. It's big, alright. It's going to take 2 or 3 shots if you're not a good shot to take down a rhino, alright. It's a very, very big bullet. The reason why it's a big bullet, a big round, is because it needs to go through the rhino's skin. The rhino's skin is this thick. So this is what we do to combat poaching, okay? One man cannot stop poaching. One man, okay? He can stop some poachers. He can stop a few guys, right? He can't stop everyone, okay? So the more people are working together, the better it is, right?
An acorn hook somewhere nearby here. Like when they hear that you're working at Rhino Revolution, you deal with rhino, somebody could come to you like, can we get a horn? Like, yeah. I'm like, no, we can't. When they hear rhino, they see money.
I don't think there's one reason why the rhino poaching just escalated like it did. But obviously the main reason is the demand. People were prepared to pay for it. A person working in Hoedspruit, a black person coming from the communities, maybe 5,000 rand a month. That same person could get 250,000 rand for shooting a rhino for one night.
If someone has food and they understand about wildlife, that's fantastic. But they're still going to poach if there's no other way to get money into their home.
Oh, my name is Tamsane, wonderful Mabaso. I grew up here in this village called Skakol. I started working at Nourish last year, March 27. I was currently volunteering till then they invited me in to do maintenance work here. I enjoy my job a lot. Enjoy my job. They give you a chance, opportunities, create what you know and what you know best.
For us, trying to find a way to bring money to people's homes and to these grannies' homes was really, it was key to the whole project working or not. So working with grannies to teach beading, starting the sanitary pad project to teach sewing, working with Rennick, a crafter who makes things from recycled rubber and wire. So really working with crafts, with tree projects, with seedling projects to create a spirit of entrepreneurship, really implementing projects that make a difference to people.
I learned a lot in a short span of time. I've seen a lot in a short span of time. And I went through like all of these emotions in a short span of time. I returned home with just humbleness and like I feel like a different person. For me, the power of photography is that it makes people pay attention to what's going on. And what I'm hoping is that people see the different issues that I captured here.
I think if we keep on doing this, it will change the kids. They will develop the love for the animals, and then they will also help, help to decrease the amount of killing animals. Maybe in the future we'll see some working in a game reserve, which is a good thing.
I encourage myself knowing that other people don't have the life that they want to have. Like, they're living in poverty, so I don't want to be like that. And I'm trying to help other people as well. So I keep going and keep dreaming large.
I think that Nourish is doing wonderful things, and everything that they do, which is a lot, connects to their overall goal to stop poaching and poverty.
With the right people and the right people behind us to support ourselves, people like Nourish, we can do a lot of positive. I've seen results of it, so I believe there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So what we do now, how we deal with our communities, how we deal with our poachers, is going to have a direct impact on what happens to the elephant, what happens to the pangolin, what happens to our wildlife. It's taken me, unfortunately, quite a time to realize, but it's pointless looking after our wildlife if we don't look after our people. We have to put the people first if we really love animals.
One of the biggest sentences that kind of goes around post-apartheid South Africa is that there's been equal opportunities. Since Nelson Mandela, since the new democracy, there's been equal opportunities. But children of my age haven't had equal opportunities. And we cannot blame our country for the way it is now if people don't realize the things that went wrong. And really, kind of wholeheartedly, in the same spirit as Nelson Mandela, try to do their little bit to fix it. I am who I am because you are. You know, we don't exist in isolation. And I think if we could understand that, if we could truly see that other person as me, and we could see their suffering as mine, we would just live a heck of a lot differently.